What's up, guys? How's it going? Hope you're all doing well. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking some more heavyweight boxing, and that is the heavyweight fight between Dave Allen and Filip Hyrgovic, which got announced about a week or two ago. But I just got round to sort of watching Dave Allen's video on his channel talking about the fight, sort of announcing it and going over why he took the fight. With a lot of people saying that he shouldn't have took this fight. He obviously explained that. It's a big financial opportunity as well as a big opportunity in general if he manages to pull off the upset. But like he said, it's the most he's being paid in his career so far. So it's a chance to get that financial security for him and his family. So fair play. I understand him taking the fight. And it's a fight that he said he's fancied for a long time. So fair play to him. And hopefully he comes in the best shape we've seen of him, because I think obviously he will need to if he wants to give himself a chance in this fight, because I think he'll have to try and push the pace on Hyrgovic. I don't think it'll be a good idea for him to, sort of settle off into a boxing match against Hyrgovic, um, who's a big man that knows how to fight big and fight tall and control the distance. And if he also controls the pace, um, I think he'll be able to sort of just easily outbox Dave Allen. We saw Allen outboxed recently by Makhmudov. I know he's had a comeback win since then when he blitzed a journeyman, but if you were outboxed by Makhmudov, who's not half the boxer Filip Hyrgovic is, um, I think obviously that says it all. So I know he said he can perform better, and he'll have to obviously in this fight. So hopefully he comes in better shape, and like I say, tries to maybe push the pace on Hyrgovic. Because like I say, if he settles off into a boxing match against Hyrgovic, I think he'll get picked off all night and beaten a wide decision, or possibly stopped late on accumulation of damage, because Hyrgovic is a guy that throws a lot of punches and he gets aggressive. So uh, I know Dave is a crafty sort of defensive guy that knows how to protect himself, and also like he said, he keeps that chin tucked. He's a shorter guy, so he gets hit a lot on the forehead and on the nose rather than on the chin, so he takes a good shot. He might not be a world-class fighter, but he certainly has world-class durability. But also, with that being said, so does Hyrgovic. Hyrgovic has one of the best chins in the heavyweight division. So it's not like, Dave's sort of fighting a taller, sort of slicker boxer that is a bit chinny, and maybe if he lands a shot, Hyrgovic will fall over. Hyrgovic has one of the best chins in the sport. I would say probably the most questionable thing about him is his gas tank, which is why I say hopefully Dave comes in and tries to push the pace, and possibly can drag Hyrgovic late into the fight and maybe cause him to run out of gas by just sort of putting a lot of pressure on him, going to his body. But with that being said, even if he does come in his best shape, I think Hyrgovic is one of the best guys in the division. Um, and he seems to be sort of just taking a few stay busy fights here against a couple of British level guys, just to sort of obviously keep feeding himself, and keep busy and keep in shape. But one thing about Hyrgovic is he does have the ability to severely underestimate his opponents and also probably overrate himself slightly, even though he is a very high level boxer. I think he overrates certain things about himself and underrates some of his opponents. I think we saw this in the Daniel Dubois fight. Obviously, he had sparred Dubois and stopped him in sparring or something. So he thought, he's going to come in and just tee off on Dubois that doesn't really know how to get out the way of a straight right hand. And he was right about that, but he maybe overestimated his power or underestimated Dubois' durability, and he kept teeing off, with that right hand, and it was landing, but Dubois was taking it well, and eventually Hyrgovic sort of ran out of gas, and the fight got a bit rough, and tough. So in this fight, Hyrgovic will have to come in good shape as well. Otherwise, he could, that would be his probably biggest danger, is that he ends up running out of gas maybe and gives Dave a chance to stop him late. Um, but yeah, I think obviously a stay busy fight for Hyrgovic. Dave Allen gets a sort of a homecoming fight here at Doncaster football ground, so he'll have 10,000 people there that he knows that are going to be fully behind him, gassing him up to try and pull off this big upset here. So I think it'll be a decent fight. Hopefully it's quite exciting, but I think obviously Hyrgovic is a world class operator. And it'll be interesting, in my opinion, to see whether Hyrgovic can stop Dave Allen in this fight, because we saw Makhmudov couldn't. Makhmudov is a big puncher. Um, Hyrgovic has power, but in my opinion, obviously he's a lot better at setting up and punching in combination than a guy like Makhmudov, and a lot technically better. So it'll be interesting to see whether Hyrgovic can stop Dave Allen. He wasn't able to stop David Adelaide, and then he had a couple of scary moments in that fight, or one or two, where he had a very rough round where Adelaide hurt him and tried to finish him. But other than that, it was a pretty one-sided fight for Filip Hyrgovic, and I expect more of the same in this fight. Probably a one-sided unanimous decision or late stoppage for Filip Hyrgovic here, and then hopefully gets a crack at a world title. So yeah, guys, that's how I see the fight going. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you give Dave a chance here? Let me know how you see how this fight going, guys. Thanks for listening. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.